All right, thank you, listeners, for joining another Leostream podcast. Today, I'm very excited to be joined by our partners from GeoComputing, Eric Johnson and Jay Kirby. Jay, why don't you kick us off with a little introduction of you, and then we'll hand it to Eric and GeoComputing, and we'll take it away.
Excellent. Hi, my name is Jay Kirby. I'm Vice President of Strategic Solutions here at GeoComputing. I'm glad to be on the podcast today.
And I'm Eric Johnson. I'm the Director of Consulting Services at GeoComputing. Well, thank you for inviting us.
We're thrilled to have you. GeoComputing and Leostream have been partners for a number of years now. Well, I think 2008 at least. So who wants to talk about what you all do at GeoComputing and how you found Leostream?
I'll start with that. So GeoComputing has been in the business of supporting oil and gas operators, specifically in the exploration production side of the business for well over 20 years. About a decade back, we decided we wanted to build a platform that was purpose-built for geoscience workflows. And so we created a product and a portfolio called RiVA. Now, if you think about the complexity and the number of products, hardware and software that would make up a complex system like this, you have to create an ecosystem, right? And that was a foundation piece during the development phase for us. And we wanted to go find strong companies to partner with that had excellent technology specifically to the needs we were designing to. Leostream has been one of those players from day one. And that ecosystem is critical to us. We believe, although we're selling RiVA, the platform, out in the marketplace, our partners like Leostream are in each and every one of those and are important to the platform.
Oh, that's fantastic. And we really value being part of that partnership. And it's been exciting to watch your product grow and new offerings to come out. We'll talk a little bit about that later. First, I kind of want to get people grounded in the use case that you're working with here. So let's say I'm a geoscientist, which I'm not. So what would my day look like? What are you helping these scientists accomplish?
So, one of the challenges a geoscientist has is they have to use a number of very challenging applications with very large data sets. And it all has to work kind of in a computational way that you can solve problems around exploration and production. The challenges with that is it requires super high performance. You also need to have low latency applications, right? So the build of the platform is super critical, but that's just the back end. You still need to have access into the system, and that's what we use Leostream for. And it gives us an organized, a creative way to ensure that all the users could get to the systems they need to do their job.
Right, great. And these users, do they have to be in the office to access this? Can they be anywhere?
They can actually be anywhere. We tried to solve first for the geoscientists. It was sitting in an office tower. But now we've been able to fine tune using tools like TGX, our ability to really provide the user to be almost anywhere, as long as they're sub 100 milliseconds from a latency perspective, they can collaborate and use the system.
Fantastic. So it seems like it's solving a real need there for these giant geoscientists to access these powerful applications. And just give me an example of a type of application that they're accessing through your platform.
I'll take that one. So an application would be Petrel as one. So they use that for exploration to review seismic and to go through large volumes of data, trying to find faults and different things that would indicate that there's a reservoir. And when they do that, it's high intensity. It's like HD 40 graphics across their screen. And they rotate models and they scan seismic. And all of that is compute intensive. So the value of RiVA is providing that in a centralized platform so that they can collaborate with their coworkers on projects and all of that data be centralized in one location. And then the other thing we can do is we can deploy RiVAs across the globe. So we have a customer in Houston that has global locations, so they have a platform in each location, and then they can share data across the geos as well.
Got it. Got it. And this sounds like it's kind of a roll it in and you're off and running solution. Is that the case? Is it that simple for people to get started?
So it is. People do not believe us when we say it the first time, and I get it because they're used to the complexity and build. So to give you some background, a refresh for a Petrotech environment could take in the past, 18 to 24 to 36 months to actually get that done. We wanted to solve for that. So what we actually do is we manufacture it in a manufacturing facility and ship it built. Now that sounds like that's not such a big deal, but these systems a lot of times have hundreds of servers and systems in it. So if you can imagine, just pallets of boxes showing up and then you have to go unbox it and build it. Well, we do all that beforehand. So we roll the systems built into the data center. Now we're just putting in, power, network, and really starting to transition the users' data and applications over. So we've really streamlined the implementation by about 70%.
That's amazing. And I'm sure that's a big cost savings for organizations when they're not spending all that in IT to plug everything in and get it up and running.
Yeah, and the CFO loves the idea of getting a return the same year they invest what they're, it's a huge investment. So.
Right, right. That makes a ton of sense. Let's poke into that. You mentioned collaboration, and when they're collaborating on a session, is this where TGX starts to come into play? Are they connecting multiple users to the same session? What's that collaboration look like?
Yeah, I can use a good example of that to answer that question. So we have a client that is based in Denver, has an office in Houston and in Calgary. And their head of geoscience had this idea that, look, we have smart people across all three of those regions, and I want to collaborate across and get the value of all those resources on, a given project. Their challenge with that is their data was split between three environments. So they came to us and said, "Hey, can you put a system in Denver that actually all the users could get to, and then we could actually collaborate on the projects together?" So you're right. Mechdyne's TGX plays a big role in that collaboration, but that collaboration would have never taken place if we didn't centralize the data into one location. And that's really the magic of being able to do that.
Right. These large data sets, we see this in a number of industries, but I imagine in the with the geoscientists, it's particularly important.
Well,
It is, I think over the life of our platform, we've migrated hundreds of petabytes of data from customers into our RiVA platforms.
That's a lot of data.
it is.
Awesome. So how are you ensuring application access for these users? How are they authenticating into the system? How are you keeping it all secure?
So a number of ways, actually. So the RiVA platform itself is fully self-contained when we're in a cloud model. So we can do fully self-contained, or we can do integrated with the customer if they want to consume it on-prem. So we have a couple of consumption models. But in general, we secure the edge with a firewall, and then we do zones inside of the platform. So we do zero trust networking. So we monitor all traffic flows and by policy allow what systems can talk to one another. But from an authentication perspective, we use Active Directory on the back, and we can integrate with Azure AD, et cetera. And then we auth that not only through Leostream, but also at the workstation with single sign-on throughout the process.
Got it. So it sounds very secure and helping people keep their data centralized and yet secure and off of their end users' endpoints, which is also very important.
Yes.
It is. And then we couple that with endpoint protection. We also have some data management tools where we can index their data for them and let them know what projects they've loaded, et cetera. So it's a pretty comprehensive solution. It's not just a point application solution. We've tried to build value on top of the base platform so the customer can expand and really realize the value of the platform, not only from the application side, but from data management, security, et cetera.
Oh, that's amazing. I did not realize the platform had all that extra functionality in it. So that's really interesting to hear. So then, so what's next? What are you adding? What are you adding next?
Well, I mean, this would not be a well-watched podcast if I didn't use the word AI in it. So I'll do that now. So AI is going to change and is in the process of changing oil and gas upstream. We're still in the early stages of that. Like we're not going to have AI agents drilling for oil today. So what we're doing as a company is first we're doing the eat our own dog food. So we're using AI within inside the RiVA operating environment to better serve from a support standpoint. So using some of the tools and knowledge bases that we can create to really drive even a better offering from a support standpoint. We're also looking at some data management tools. We have a philosophy that, look, most of these operators have a huge amount of data, and many of them struggle with understanding exactly what they have. So before we start going out into the world to try to figure out how we can leverage AI against larger data sets, why don't we do AI on the data that is within our environment and really clean that up. So we're supporting it all. So we use the latest and greatest NVIDIA GPUs that support all the new tools that are coming from the software vendors for AI. So we're in the game. Our goal is to support AI more than drive AI. And I think a supporting role is a good place for us to be today.
Yes, that makes a lot of sense. And AI is definitely on the top of everyone's mind in every way, shape, and form.
It is.
All
Yeah,
right.
if I may add to that just briefly. So customers can view RiVA as AI ready, meaning that we can, as Jay said, support the applications and the AI integration that comes with that. But on top of that, we can do it in a way that is predictive. It's a predictive model from cost and performance for them as well. And then when we couple Leostream on top of that, we can be very flexible in how we create pools of machines for the need for AI, so that
Mm-hmm.
not everything has to run that AI application. If you only need to run it for a few users, we can enable that across a subset and then configure pools in Leostream to grant access to that. So super flexible on the way we can configure the platform.
Oh, interesting. So this is actually a value add on Leostream. So you have your pool of AI enabled machines, and then based on the policies that you set up, only specific users have access to that.
Exactly.
I like it. I like it a lot. All right. So is any other innovations on the forefront yet? I know you mentioned having a cloud hosted as well as an on-prem. Is that a new
Yeah.
offering?
Well, it's slowly migrated into something that's big for us now. So when we started delivering the RiVA platform 10 or 11 years ago, it was pretty much an on-prem solution. And then as a public cloud started exploding and folks were running to the public cloud, we thought, look, we can't build this in the public cloud. It would cost too much. We would not have the performance we need. We'd struggle with some of the support aspects of it. So what we did is we turned our on-prem into a private cloud offering. And at first it sounded maybe a little wonky when I was presenting it, but I will tell you now, it is top of mind for many of the operators. So many operators have moved into multiple years in the public cloud trying to do this specialized Petrotech, and they're finding it costs 2, 3, 4, 5 times more to operate in that environment. And the users are just not happy with the performance. So now I pretty much pitch private cloud on every new opportunity. We'll continue to do on-prem as needed, but yeah, private cloud is our future.
Fantastic. And that we've definitely noticed cloud adoption, both private and public, going up and just in our customer base in general. So it's nice to see that the energy industry is embracing that. And Yeah, so it sounds like with your platform, you've given people a really flexible solution that they can run on-prem, they can move into private cloud, they get the performance they need, way simpler to set up and get users being productive instantly. So what else can one ask for, really?
Well, I mean, it's never ending, right? We will continue to innovate. You know, we're on, I think, our 7th generation of the platform. And look, demands for the users will change. I tell you one thing, that's the time frame that the geoscientists have to make a determination if they want to drill in a certain area or get a license in a certain area, that window is shrinking. And so they need high performance to be able to do things like that quickly. We're rolling out the ability to do on-the-fly data rooms, right, for any kind of joint venture opportunities. So we're always going to look forward and listen to our clients and try to continue to build to their needs and desires.
And I'm sure you are going to continue to be very successful at that from what I've seen from the past. All right, well, any last thoughts? Any places you want to send people who want to learn more about geocomputing and what you provide?
Yeah, if you want to go to our website at www.geocomputing.net, or you can even, if you want to talk to me or some of our salespeople, it's letter J Kirby, Kirby at geocomputing.net. We'd love to talk to you.
Fantastic. Well, I thank you both, Eric and Jay, for joining me today. It really is fascinating to hear about these very specific use cases and hear how Leostream is helping you help them. And we look forward to our continued journey together.
Thank you,
Thank you for the
Karen.
partnership.
Our pleasure.